Welcome back everyone. We're going to be doing another comparison today between the iPhone SE 2020 and the iPhone XR. Now the iPhone XR was the older budget phone of 2018 from Apple, and the iPhone SE 2020 is really the newest budget phone that's probably going to be sold by Apple for a very long time. Now here's the thing to consider at the end of the day, okay? If you have all the money in the world, I kind of think that the iPhone XR is probably the better way to go, but we'll get into all that in a second. Now I am giving away an iPhone SE 2020, a product red one. If you want to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you already followed me on those things, you're perfectly fine. I'll just be picking a random follower, so whether you're following me now or not, it doesn't matter, just follow me. As long as you're following me by May 8th, which is when I'm picking the winner, then you're set. And that's really pretty much it. Now looking on the front of both phones, they look a little bit different obviously. The iPhone SE2 has a 4.7-inch Retina IPS panel. It is 750 by 1334 and it's not a bad panel. You know, it's pretty much more or less the same as the iPhone 8's panel. You have True Tone on it. No Force Touch on it though, which is perfectly fine for me. I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but if it is a big deal to you, then it shouldn't really matter because the iPhone XR also does not have Force Touch on it. So the panel is pretty good. As long as you have True Tone on it, I think it adds a little bit more value to it. Now you obviously have quite a bit of bezel around it, and when you look at something like an iPhone XR, even though that has more bezel on it than an 11 Pro, it still looks, substantially better than that older type of design that we had on the iPhone SE 2020. So even though it's not the end of the world or something, it is something to consider at the end of the day. The iPhone XR has a 6.1-inch liquid Retina IPS LCD panel, and that panel is also extremely good. I think that panel at the time it was released was a little, controversial, but now I think it looks really good. It's 828 by 1792. Again, you have True Tone on it as well, which makes the panel look that much better. And even if the panels looked exactly the same, the biggest differentiating factor, maybe besides the screen size, is obviously the way they look. The iPhone XR just looks better. It has way less bezel on it, and you have way more screen on it than the iPhone SE 2020. You have Touch ID on the SE 2020, which looks a little bit better, and I feel is the better, input security for the majority of people. But Face ID is also one of those things that's really cool as well. And whether you like one over the other, it doesn't really matter. In terms of design, I definitely do side with the XR. They both have lightning ports on the bottom and on the back, glass backs on both. The Apple logo is centered on the SE2, where on the XR it's a little bit high up. And you have a single camera setup on both phones, which is, pretty much almost exactly the same setups on both, which is really cool. I don't really think, it's a bad thing at all. Both cameras are still extremely good in my opinion. However, in 2020, like I've stated before, it would have been better if we gotten multiple camera setups, especially on the SE 2020, but it is what it is. I'm not going to freak out about it too much, but you have IP certification on both, IP67 dust and water resistance on both phones, the exact same certifications, and the main thing that's really interesting probably is the price tag. So with the iPhone SE 2020, that's costing about $399, plus tax and everything. It's going to be about to like $440, $450. On the iPhone XR on Amazon right now, these things are selling for about $430, which is about the same price as the iPhone SE 2020. So if you want to pick up either of these phones up, I'll leave a link down below from Amazon so you can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now talking about the software, they're both kind of, they're going to last for a very long time. It's not like they're going to be unsupported tomorrow. The iPhone XR started off with iOS 12. The iPhone SE2 started off with iOS 13. And obviously between both of them, I think the iPhone SE2 is going to outlast the iPhone XR. But here's the thing, even if that is the truth, which it might be, but even if that is the truth, that doesn't necessarily mean that these are going to be unsupported tomorrow. The iPhone SE2 might have the better chipset, but we've seen so many times where, an older generation phone ends up getting the same exact software versions as a newer generation phone. You look at phones like the iPhone 5S and the iPhone 6. So maybe this could happen too. Maybe the A12 Bionic could last as long as the A13 Bionic in terms of software. We really don't know, but we're just going to have to wait. Both of these are unsupported with that checkra1n jailbreak, so that's kind of a downside for both of them, but it is what it is. We're not going to freak out about it too much. So in terms of software, the SE 2020 has a higher chance of actually outlasting the iPhone XR. But again, maybe the iPhone XR will last as long. We really don't know. So in terms of software, that pretty much covers it. And we'll go ahead and do a speed test between these, but this is going to be a pretty quick one. This is not going to be extremely 100% thorough. It'll give you a good idea about the speed test, but I'm going to save it for a different video. I'm going to do a huge long one that's going to test the RAM and everything like that. So this will give you a good idea. This is a full comparison, not really an in-depth review or anything. So the iPhone XR has the Apple A12 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU, and 3 different models with 3 gigs of RAM on each one, where the iPhone SE2 has the Apple A13 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU, and 3 models, again, almost the exact same models as the iPhone XR, but this one has 3 gigs of RAM on each one too. So almost the exact same power on both. It's just, the iPhone SE 2020 has a newer chipset, so let's see which one is the better performing device between both of these. Everyone, let's do a quick little speed test between the iPhone XR and the iPhone SE2. iPhone SE2 is on the left, and all the apps should be cleared out in the background. I guess not. Okay, now we're good. Let's go and load up the App Store. 3, 2, 1. And iPhone SE2 actually a little bit faster there, going through. They're both like about the same, not a big difference, but the iPhone SE2 definitely got into it faster. Let's do phone. Okay, about the same. Let's do Safari, and let's go ahead and load up some website. Let's do Apple, apple.com, 3, 2, 1. And it's looking like the SE2 loaded that one up faster eventually on the iPhone XR. A little difference, not a crazy big one, but just a little one. So that kind of covers up those ones. Let's go and load up these third-party apps. Let's do Twitter. 3, 2, 1. And SE2, look how much faster that one was. That's actually pretty fast in my opinion. Facebook, 3, 2, 1. About the same, give or take. Doodle Jump, 3, 2, 1. The SE2 seemed to be a little bit faster to pull up that H thing. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And SE2 seems to be faster. iPhone XR eventually got into it, but a little bit of a difference that we automatically saw, so this is honestly pretty good in my opinion. Let's do Stack, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the SE2 is just slightly faster to load up that ad. Let's do Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And they both were about the same, give or take. Let's load up the actual app and see if there's a difference, and it's a basic game, so we're not going to see that big of a difference. Thank you, 3, 2, 1. And iPhone SE2 again, just slightly faster. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. iPhone SE2 again, just slightly faster there. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And it's looking like the iPhone SE2 again, a little bit faster. And it looks like the SE2 was a little bit less glitchier too. Maybe it was just me, maybe I can really tell. And look how much faster the iPhone SE2 was over the iPhone XR. That's pretty impressive. Let's do Instagram, 3, 2, 1. And again, iPhone SE2 is faster. Let's do Paper Out 2, 3, 2, 1. And again, iPhone SE2 is the faster one. Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. And even to load into that, it was faster on the iPhone SE2. Let's go and end it off with Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. And you can see iPhone SE2 was faster to load into it. Maybe eventually, yeah, we do get into it on the iPhone XR, but that's a pretty big crazy difference. I think between both of these, the iPhone SE 2020 is the faster one between both, which is pretty impressive. So I love the iPhone SE 2020, I love the iPhone XR, but for sure the iPhone SE 2020 was the faster one between both these. So let's get back to the comparison. Man, that speed comparison almost made me cry, you guys. Now, let's go and hit on the cameras, and just like the speed test, I'll be doing a separate camera test between both of these, so keep a look down the channel so you guys don't miss that. But both these phones have single 12 megapixel cameras on the back, and I'll honestly, they're almost the exact same camera. They're wide angle lenses, no ultra wide, no telephoto, none of that, but still, for this price tag, I guess it's okay. They have the ability to shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, which is really cool. So you have that type of capability on both of these phones, which is really awesome. And even though nowadays we have phones that can shoot 8K and stuff, this is still fairly good for a majority of people out there. They both have 7 megapixel cameras on the front. A quick thing, the iPhone XR can apparently do 1080p at 60 frames on the front camera, where the iPhone SE 2020 can only do 1080p at 30 frames. So not like a crazy thing that's going to make you, change religions or anything, but it is something to kind of consider at the end of the day. So at the end of it, what I'll tell you is the camera wise, they're both almost exactly the same. Maybe the iPhone XR has the better advantage with that 60 frames per second on that front camera, but still it's very close between both of these at the end of the day. So in terms of camera, maybe the XR is slightly better, but they're almost the same. Now ending it off with the battery life, the iPhone SE 2020 has a 1821 mAh battery, almost the exact same size as the iPhone 8 and it's actually exact same size as the iPhone 8. With the iPhone XR has a 2942 mAh battery, and by far the iPhone XR is going to outlast the iPhone SE 2020. The iPhone XR has, one of the greatest battery lives from any iPhone ever, and it's probably up there with the iPhone 11. Maybe the iPhone 11 is a little bit better, who knows, but they both have wireless charging, which is really cool and everything, but definitely at the end of the day, the iPhone XR has the better battery life between both of them. So to kind of sum up the video, man, should you pick up the iPhone XR? Should you pick up the iPhone SE 2020? If you're going from the certified refurbished market, like I've stated, and you're okay picking up a certified or refurbished iPhone XR from Amazon, that would be the one I would highlight the most. That is probably going to get you the most bang for your buck. Even though it's a generation older, you're getting that newer design, you're getting, almost the same camera, you're getting better battery life, a better screen, everything like that. The iPhone SE2 was great if you have to go the brand new route, but the iPhone XR would probably be the phone I would recommend to a majority of people. But the iPhone SE2 is one of those phones that you can just go into the Apple Store and buy, and it's just widely accessible. And you can do the same thing with the XR, but that one is retailing for $599. And if you have to go the brand new route, the iPhone SE2 is probably the better way to go. You can save yourself $200 and go that way, but I still think a used XR, is probably the better way to go between all three of those versions. So that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys would check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.